Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Chris's Collectibles Corner, and for those of you who are new, thank you for coming through. Today we're taking a look at the SH Figuarts Android Super 17 from Dragon Ball GT. Now before we get into the review, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification to be notified when new reviews are uploaded to the channel. It really helps and I really appreciate the support. Now, looking at the packaging, it's a pretty standard SH Figuarts packaging that they do for the Dragon Ball figures. With a nice big window, we can see the figure and some of the accessories that it comes with. This Android Super 17 has a nice kind of like ocean blue green kind of color to it, which is nice. It kind of helps the figure kind of pop as far as the photos that they have on here. Now along the sides of the packaging, we see some pictures of the figure as well as a couple more pictures on the back with certain poses that you could put the figure in. But now let's get this guy out of the box and take a closer look. Now here we have the figure standing straight up and down, no fancy poses in the light box, and this is Android Super 17 in all his glory. And I really like the overall silhouette of this guy. Definitely reminds me of how he appeared in Dragon Ball GT. This like nice slim slender body with the more broad shoulders. As far as like the details and the sculpt on this figure aside, looking at the paintwork, I really like that on the boots. They kind of gave it a more glossy kind of look, so it kind of looks like leather. I also really like the paintwork that they did on the pants. You could definitely see like a gradient going towards the middle where it gets lighter, and then as it goes towards the sides, it's a little bit darker, just kind of how worn jeans are. Then on the upper half of his body, I think it's like a formed colored plastic where you kind of have this dark aqua green kind of color, and then we have like little cutouts where you can see his shoulders. Then it goes into like the brown patches and these gold plates that he has going across his chest, as well as the gold red ribbon RB plate that he has on his waist and his wrist guards and the steel toe boots that he has. And it has a nice metallic finish to it. You know, I remember back in the day when SH Figuarts used to actually put more shading into the figures. They don't do that too much anymore. But, you know, this guy has a nice amount of paintwork on him just overall. Like, it definitely breaks it up and you can get a sense it's different materials that he's wearing. Yeah, but the overall scope on this guy looks good. The details on him, even his face and the hair. He also has the handkerchief on him as well. So yeah, this guy looks pretty good. Just looking at the details of the overall aesthetics and the paintwork of the figure, he's exactly how I remember him when he appeared in the show. But now let's take a look at the accessories. Alright, so he comes with 3 additional face plates aside from the one that's attached to the figure that he comes with in the box. So he comes with the teeth gritted face, the grinning face, and the open wide mouth shouting face, which is standard. But man, I have to say, when it comes to the GT line of the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball characters, they really knock it out the park when it comes to the faceplates. They put a lot of love into it, and just the line work is super clean and crisp. Then he comes with 2 additional like hair flat pieces, so this way you can kind of have the hair like blowing in the wind when he's doing ki blast or for some more dynamic poses. Now looking at the hands, aside from the fist that he comes with in the box, he comes with 4 additional pairs of hands. He comes with open ki blast hands. Then he comes with a pair of like gripping like type of hands. Then he comes with a more like relaxed type of hand where you can kind of like have him hold his other hand in the palm when he's kind of using like the cannon. And then he has another pair of open ki blast hands, but these are the ones that you can put the peg in there, so this way he can kind of hold his energy effect. And then the last accessory that he comes with is once again some more Goku DLC. So we come with a different faceplate, a new hair sculpt, and then we come with the little plastic effect to kind of mimic when he did the Dragon Fist and killed Super Android 17 in the series. Alright, let's look at the articulation on this guy for the new Android Super 17 and let's see how he moves. So starting with the arms, he's got the shoulder joint. He goes at exactly 90 degrees. He's got the bicep swivel. Oh, also the shoulder swivel. The bicep swivel's a little tough, but if I hold it, there you go. He can spin. So he's got that. Elbow bend all the way. Good wrist articulation. And he's got added articulation if you want to count it on the wrist, because you can actually take this thing off to expose the gun. And he could do that with both wrists. Let me just put his hand back on because that popped off when I was removing it. There we go. And then see, that's the inside of it. So yeah, you just pop it right back on there. So yeah, you could use that as an added articulation for the arm. So we got that. And then this piece right here actually moves with him when you're moving the arm with the butterfly joint. So if I move it across, you see like the whole thing moves. So yeah, and the butterfly joint's pretty good. Like if I get it in the right angle, you can get that arm across a pretty good distance. Can both the arms cross? Yeah, see? Boom. Just bend the arms. Wow, there you go. So yeah, as far as that goes, arm articulation is good. Alright, this is the test. Because a lot of figures we've been looking at cannot crunch. Can he crunch? Yes, he can crunch forward, finally. All these 3.0s and third-party figures cannot accomplish this simple feat for some reason. I'm glad this guy can. And see him lean him back. There you go. Lean back a decent amount. Waist swivel. Go side to side. So there's that. Now let's take a look at the legs. He can kick at exactly 90. He can't push it any higher because of the way that the hips are done, but you know, that's good enough right there. Boom. Knee bend is really good. So you can really get him in some good dynamic poses with the legs. Thigh swivel he's got. And then he's got the new ankle joint, so he's got good side to side. And front to back. With the toe. Same with the other leg. Let's see, can he do a split? I forgot to show that. Yeah, he can. Boom. Chong-Li, you got competition. Oh, maybe not. His leg just popped off, but that's alright. Just pop it right back in and boom. So yeah, same thing, 90 degrees. Bend at the knee. Boom. Same thing with the ankle here. Front, back, and the toe. So yeah, and then on the head itself, he's got that different articulation right here on the hair. I put the one that's windy, but you know, you can move them up if you want to make it more dynamic with certain poses. Bring them down, and you could do the same thing with these hairs in the front. You can move them, so if you want them to be back there, you could, but I kind of like keeping them in the front because I feel like that's how he was in the show. And then neck articulation, pretty good. He can look up, even though it's got all that in the back. I'm sure if we move it up, he could look up more. Let's see if how far he can look down. He can look down a good amount too. Side to side. Left to right. So yeah, articulation on the guy's pretty good, and he feels sturdy. He doesn't feel like too tight or too loose. I think he has like just the right tolerance. So yeah, articulation on the guy's pretty good. I like it. And here we have him standing next to Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and this is probably who you're gonna be posing him with the most in your display. And yeah, I think he's a good height in comparison to Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I feel like they balance each other out, and I feel like they're both from the same series. And now once again, here he is with his older version of himself before the two versions of that version fused to make the Super version. And now here we have him with his brother and sister, 18 and Android 16, and man, even with the growth spurt, Android 16 is still bigger than him. That's a big guy, I'm telling you. And now we have him here with his rival, Piccolo. And Piccolo, you know, I feel like he's in scale. Piccolo's always been one of the taller characters in the Z series, so I feel like this is a good height. But then when Piccolo gets his glow up, as you can see, he's even bigger. So even with Super 17 getting the growth spurt, he's still not bigger than Orange Piccolo. And here we have him with the rest of the GT characters that have come out so far. GT Pan is on the way, so I'll be reviewing her next, but so far this is all the GT characters in the line. And like I said earlier, man, I think SH Figuarts is really knocking it out the park with the GT line in general. They all look really good, really faithful to the character designs of the show, and I just feel like so far the collection that we have it's really nice. And there we have it, guys. This Android Super 17. It's always great for us to get a new mold instead of getting another Vegeta or another Goku or Gohan that's a remold of a Goku or whatever. So I always love it when we get a new mold, especially another new villain. I'm happy that they're going into the GT villains now. I'm curious if they're gonna do the Omega Shenron figure next as the next villain, or the other dragons, or probably the most popular villain in all GT, Baby. So I'm really curious where they're gonna go with that. But overall, I think this is a good figure. I got mine off of Hobby Genkai, so I was a little late with getting this review. Hobby Genkai used to ship it up before P Bandai, and P Bandai used to be later, but P Bandai cleaned up that whole act, so now I gotta switch back to P Bandai so I can get these reviews out to you guys sooner. So sorry for the delay. But yeah, overall, like I said, I think this is a good figure from the paint, the sculpt, and everything. If you want to pick him up, I believe he's still on Hobby Genkai at the time of this recording. He was a P Bandai exclusive, like I said, but you can still pick him up there now before he sells out, and then you're left to only get him on the aftermarket. But yeah, that aside, guys, using the Dragon Balls to rate this guy from a 1 to 7, I'm gonna have to give him a 5. I think just the fact that they painted it and it's a new mold and a new sculpt already gives it some brownie points for me. The articulation was good and smooth. He didn't feel too flimsy or weak. The tolerance was good. He doesn't feel cheap at all. So yeah, I really like it. It's just, I guess, preference with the character. He wasn't really one of the more memorable characters for me from GT. Like, I remember the character, I don't really remember the fight too much, but I'm a completionist, so I'm always going to try and get all of them to kind of complete the set. But yeah, if you guys found this review informative, please make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let me know what your thoughts are on this figure, and I'll leave a link in the description, so this way you guys can go over there to pick them up yourself if you're interested, and stay tuned for the next review. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.